Welcome back to another episode of the Dat Fitness Business Podcast. Tom Blackman with Dan Smith. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
And
Tom.
And how has your week been this week? Because it's Threads week this week, isn't it?
It feels like it's been a week already. It's Monday, so yeah.
It's been 4 days, hasn't it? Was it Wednesday, Thursday it was launched?
It was Thursday, wasn't it?
I don't know. Thursday I joined.
Yeah. Week's been all right. Spent 4 days on Threads.
I think I've been a similar thing. It's if you hadn't guessed, today we're talking about Threads because when we're filming this, it's been 4 days since Threads launched. But when you're watching this or listening to this, it'll probably be 3 weeks. So a lot of the stuff we're about to say might be outdated already.
Yeah,
when we started. But we decided we would do a podcast on Threads because it is something that's quite relevant, and yeah, so don't take any of what we're saying as like we know what we're talking about on Threads, because we've been on it for like 4 days, and we're just going to talk about our observations and stuff that we've seen, which is some of it's quite comical. So Dan, you've joined Threads, and I think you joined just before me. What do you like about it? What do you like about Threads compared to like Instagram and stuff like that?
What do I like about it? I like the fact you don't have to think as much, but then
don't have to think as much. I'm
yeah.
going to reword that.
So I like you don't have to think about content as much, but then I'm also thinking, is that a good thing? Because I'm still undecided about how to use the platform. I know people say it's like Twitter, but it's not really. I think it feels different. I'm undecided. I think in terms of what I like about it, I like it feeling quite free, and there's no real. Whereas if you're on Instagram, there's like all of a sudden you'll see like an ad or something, and then you might have like your inbox full of like spam DMs, and you might have people commenting on stuff, just random stuff, or like spam again. I just feel like it feels a little bit like chaos, but in a good way at the moment. I'm sure it won't stay like that though.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I quite like the sort of anarchy side of things, because you'll be scrolling through, and because it's like trying to suggest people you might want to follow. I mean, I got them in Paris Hilton popping up on my feed 3 times a day. I've had to mute her off. I don't even follow Paris Hilton. I've never been interested in any of her content, and all of a sudden 3 of her posts just keep popping up on my feed. So I had to mute her. I couldn't even like unfollow or anything else. I had to be muted. So that's pretty weird. That there's just, because obviously with Instagram, you get Instagram Explore, don't you? And suggested, we think you might want to look at this content. What in any of my content and my interactions think I might be interested in reading Paris Hilton's blabbering nonsense?
Yeah. That is weird, actually, because I haven't had anything like that. And I'm sure it's still working out how to do that. I've seen the suggested people come in. I don't know if you've seen that, like in Facebook where it's got suggested people, but that started to come in. But yeah, I like the fact that it opens up conversations of like other people. This is really weird, but other conversations, and then you can just like hijack a conversation, and you just throw your bit in without asking. It's quite rude, isn't it?
But I do like that. I do like the fact that and this is what I liked about Twitter, is the fact that you get some celebrity pop up posting their stuff, and you just get some random Joe from whatever going, yeah, shut up, Gordon Ramsay. It's just, I think it's quite funny. You could just pop up on the conversations, interrupt it, and then just go about your daily business.
Yeah, that's what I mean by, I think, like not having to think about things. Like there seems like there's a lot more like impulsive actions happening, which is weird, because why can't you do that on another platform? It's almost like we've brought into this perception that you must only do these things. Because who said that? Because, oh, these people have started to tell us that you must not post more than once a day. You must do these kind of posts. You must create video. You must have hooks in your video. Like, you know, who said all that? Like, people have made that up, right? And now it's almost like Threads has gone, nah, fuck all that. Just do what you want, basically.
Yeah. And I mean, I used to quite like Twitter, and I didn't post a lot on Twitter, but I suppose the reason why I post more on Threads is because it's linked into Instagram. And I don't know if you found this, is that I picked up a lot of followers in the last couple of days. Because and I was thinking, well, where they come from? That's random. And actually, I go back to Threads, and they've either been on a thread that I've contributed to, or something related to that. So they followed me back from Threads into my Instagram account. So that's been okay. And also, more importantly, they've been almost my target niche, which is great.
Yeah, I noticed that. Seen that, just a little flurry of increase in followers. But again, you just don't know how that's going to carry on, or what's going to, because these things always start like that, don't they? And then they just slowly get eroded back down to just wherever it will become.
Yeah, I quite like, because I mean, both me and you have done copywriting courses and have learned copywriting. So I suppose we're quite comfortable with posting a very short form sort of bullet pointed content, and we can get that message out quite quickly.
Yeah.
And that's why I like the platform, because I can, like, if I'm going to post to Instagram, for example, and I'm not sure how you are with this, but this is how I am. If I'm going to post on Instagram, I want to have a nice post to put on, or I want to have a nice video to put on. You know, I want to take a bit of time doing it. So it takes me, you know, if I'm going to do like one of them real videos, that's going to take me a little bit of time to record the video, put the captions on, you know, this, that, the other, add the Hill Mosey script and stuff. And if I want to do like a picture image, or like a carousel, I like to edit it a little bit. So it takes me a little bit of time for an Instagram post. But for Threads, I'm just like, here's 4 things to help you do coaching. Bang, 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 done. And it's literally out there in, what, 2 minutes? And you can do a couple of those a day quite easily. And that's what I like about it, is like I can get my ideas across, and they're just unformatted, unfiltered. Just, that's what I think, bang.
Yeah, agree. I think it's just figuring out from a coach's perspective how you're going to use that for your business, because at the moment it kind of feels like we're all in this big group chat of coaches and people in the industry, and then you can also comment on just random people like Paris Hilton. But that feels fun, right? At the moment, don't really know how much that's been impacted on what you actually want to do from a business perspective. And are you just replacing time and energy and effort that could be going into something else that is still driving the business forward? So that's how I feel at the moment about it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've already been in on a few ice bath conversations, just sort of taking the piss a little bit. Well, not taking the piss, actually. I actually posted some relevant science-backed data on, and it was an entrepreneur chat. So it was obviously full of people doing ice baths and saying they're convinced by the science. I was like, what are you convinced about? Oh, that it boosts testosterone. Nope, doesn't do that. Oh, it enhances fat loss. Nope, doesn't do that. No conclusive. But I've watched the Huberman podcast. Okay. Okay. He hasn't cherry picked some of those research studies, has he, at all? So yeah, there's a few of those chats, but I think there's a distinction between when you're having a chat for your business and when you're having a chat personally, and that's why I like the Threads, because it's very much, you can go from one chat to chatting, like say with you about like philosophy quotes and all that rubbish, and I can head over to literally in 2 seconds to another one talking about, you know, coaching techniques. And you can do all that within the space of a couple of minutes. I quite like that you can be personal and business on the same platform quite easily and very quickly.
Yeah, I see that. I just think it's a hard thing at the moment to figure out how, from a coach point of view, how you could use it, because for me it feels like potentially that their audience isn't there, or that audience isn't there for that, because I'll see stuff and it'll be like a post, value post, and it'll just be, and I'll
Value.
be honest, some of that stuff is like, it didn't work on Instagram. Why do you think it's gonna suddenly appear to work here? Like, here's 3 things to help you lose fat, right?
Yeah. Here's 10 things to help you lose fat.
Yeah.
Here's
I just-
99 things to help you lose fat.
Or like people getting really deep into, you know, hypertrophy techniques and that on a text-based platform, where potentially that works better on video anyway. I don't know. But like, I just think if you're going to use it, at least have at least the structure to like how you want to come across with it, or how you want to be perceived. Because if you're just throwing them out there because you think, I need to do this because that's what I do, I'm a coach now, but then who are you talking to? Are you talking to other coaches? Because at the moment it feels a little bit like we're creating content for our peers, or to be like, oh, look how clever I am, or look at the stuff I can do, or the things that I preach. And I'm like, I don't know who you're talking to, because that's exactly what we said about Instagram. You start creating content for other coaches. Are you doing the same thing here? And it's a fine line, because then what should you do? Because there's no rules in this. There's no one like says you should be doing this, and no one's got the secrets, although they will say they have. And that's another point we could bring up. But like, I don't want people to start to thinking they need to put this stuff out there if there's no one there to see it. And I don't know, maybe I've got that wrong. It just feels like that at the moment.
No, I think you're right, because there's no sort of, well, there might be, but it doesn't feel like it. Like there's a defined algorithm as to, like for example, if we, like me and you, both me and you post on Instagram, and we talk a lot about coaching and being a coach and improving coaching. So I don't know about you, but I get bombarded with like lead magnet, like content boosting posts from like business coaches who can accelerate my leads and that sort of stuff. That sort of stuff pops up onto my, because what I'm saying is relating to that industry. And but there's none of that yet on Threads. There's none of that, oh, we would like to show you content because you talked about this stuff.
Yeah.
And it sort of reminds me of like when ChatGPT was first released, and everyone was trying to figure out how they should use the prompts and everything else. And now people are pretty savvy on, you should do this, this, and this to get the outcome you want. But I feel as though that's not, I mean, I know there's some people, like you said, there's some people who think they know what they're doing there, but most people don't. What I've seen a lot of is, and this is, there's a lot of pods. I don't know if you've seen the engagement pods on Threads already. Yeah. And it's a group of 20 or so people around the same thing posting, oh, you should follow these people, and they just list all their things, and they've all done the same post, all listing everyone else but them in that list. And it's like, well, I mean, that might work for sort of like famous people, but I mean, I wouldn't want to post saying follow all these people and then people follow me from that, because it would just be everyone following each other and you wouldn't actually reach your audience. That's my, I don't know if I worded that correctly, but did you understand what I meant there?
Yeah, definitely. It's the same thing. It was the engagement pods on Instagram and Facebook as well. It's the same things when they just damage your, because what are you doing? That you just get a load of followers. Brilliant. Cool. Like, there's a difference, isn't there? A follower and someone who actually has an interest in what you're doing.
And what do followers mean on Threads at the moment? Because no one knows. You know, I mean, if it's like Twitter, I mean, I never made any sort of real massive headway into Twitter. But what do followers mean on Twitter? That, I don't know, that your post gets seen, but seen by a load of the wrong people who you want to appeal to?
Nah. It's a weird one, isn't it? I don't know. I did notice a lot more. I don't know whether this is my perception of it, but the if you got a blue tick, you're like, I see a lot more blue ticks, or maybe there's just a lot more blue ticks in my space, but like they seem to show that content a little bit more. I don't know whether that's just me noticing it. Or...
I don't know. I've seen both, to be honest. I wouldn't say I've noticed more blue ticks, but then I know a lot of people, and I follow a lot of people who have paid for their blue tick. Daniel,
I did.
I
Not
know.
even ashamed.
No, I know, and yeah, I know a lot of people who got blue ticks, and actually, there's a few people who are quite prominent who I follow who haven't, and they're showing up fine. I'm not sure if there is a bias towards that, but I mean,
Good.
I don't know. Again, I don't know. Are they deliberately doing that or not? I think that would hurt the platform if that got out that they were doing that, because people like, there's a big complaint, isn't there, about like how Instagram's worked, is that all the people with the massive followings have just basically like got rid of any smaller accounts, like how like Tesco and Asda have gotten rid of the small corner shop people because they've just gotten too big, and now, you know, like so many, they get recommended to so many people that the smaller accounts don't have a chance to be shown.
Yeah, I don't know. I just noticed it, and then I saw some people talking about it. So, I don't know.
I think a lot of people have got a lot of like theories, and I think it'd be quite interesting to see when the conspiracy theory people like actually get their head around some sort of conspiracy theory they can apply to Threads. I think there'll be some fun content then.
Yeah, definitely. I guarantee it. There's going to be, you know, everyone. I mean, I joked about it at the start, like, you know, I've been on here 6 hours now, and I've cracked the code, and here's my Threads-based accelerator. But then the people who were like sort of joking around, taking a this and that, I've already seen it. I've seen people then go, "No, we've actually created this stuff that's going to help you stand out." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you just took the piss out of that a minute ago." Like, "Oh yeah, but like, no, we've done this thing now." I was like, "Yeah." So that stuff.
Mate, I know I sent you this, but there was a guy who I actually quite respect as a I won't say what he does, but he's quite I respect him for what he does. And he had a post on Facebook, and it said literally it said something like, I've been on Threads for 2 days, and I'm now an expert. I've created this it's something like a millionaire's blueprint for Threads. And I thought, oh, good, this is going to be like a proper piss take post, you know. And I thought, oh, I'll click on that because that look, I could do with a good laugh, you know. And I clicked on it, and I started reading it, and I was like, this actually looks like a proper sales page. And it actually was a proper sales page about dominating the marketing Threads, but also he had in there about advertising on Threads, how to create perfect ads on Threads. It's like, there aren't any ads on Threads. You know, how can you write about something that doesn't even exist? But he had it there, like dominate this thing. And I'm just reading through it, but it was like it just never ended. I mean, I know he sent you the link, but I was just reading the whole landing page, and it was just never ending. Absolutely, just a whole load of bollocks. And the thing is, it was only like it was throwaway money. You know, like I know we talked about throwaway money stuff on Amazon. You know, oh, I'll buy that because it might be worth something. But he priced it as like 997 or something, and then it was something really cheap, like 30 quid or something. Oh, so it's worth 997, but you're willing to give it away for 30 quid? Wow, look at the amount of value and you're talking about something that doesn't even exist yet. So you've obviously time portal to the future to be able to get this information that this is worth, and it's only £30. Oh, fuck me. I better buy that before it goes up, eh? But there will be people who buy that thinking, oh, I'm going to get the secrets. And it's just some regurgitated bollocks about social media engagement.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's or you could see it the other way, and this guy's a trailblazer, and he's, you know, getting in there fast, getting in there quick. But yeah, I don't. I think Nah, I admire the no, it's not even balls, is it? I just admire like the
Just so blatant, isn't it? Like
yeah,
brazen. Look, I've
yeah.
got nothing to sell, but do you want to buy it?
I think actually, yeah, I quite admire that to be able to just so you've got to take some positive things from it, but I won't
Well,
be
and
buying it.
we discussed this, didn't we? And the copy was actually very good. I did learn from the copy for I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I like how he's done that. But also it was that real sort of click funnels, clickbaity,
Yeah,
hyperbole stuff, wasn't it? So
yeah,
yeah.
not for me.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's a lot of people doing that now, and I think the business gurus have been falling over themselves to try and say stuff that's relevant about it, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, there's lots of people piping up saying, you know, this is how you should use it, or don't do this and that. And I think, okay, cool. Like maybe give some guidance. So an email went out today for us about threads because topical and whatever. And I just said how I found it, and then also like how we're using it in terms of like an 80-20 rule. I kind of gave myself this unwritten rule of 80% I'm just going to be interacting and conversing with people, and then 20% I'm going to be posting up like useful, hopefully useful content and memes. I'll be honest, I'm still going to throw the memes in there. I've not gone in for the video because something in me doesn't want to post video on it. I feel like it's not a video platform and I don't want it to be. So, yeah, so that's how I feel.
I have posted videos on it, but I also think it might be a good one for lead magnets, because if you're going to post a lead magnet on, say, Instagram, you have to have DM me for the link or comment for the link, don't you? And on Facebook, you obviously you can write it and put the thing in, can't you? But it's not as fast. Whereas with threads, you can. I wrote one today, which was it was inverted comments, or in whatever it was, parentheses. It said, I don't know who needs to hear this. ...
Yeah, you do.
In speech bubble, and underneath I put something like, if that's the case, then you probably do need my content planner. I just dropped the link on it. I thought, okay, I know a lot of people are going to get annoyed by that, but
I missed that one.
I think it's still in draft actually, because today I've spent most of the morning editing my landing page for it. So
Nice.
It's still in draft, but it probably posted this afternoon.
That's what I'm finding as well, is I don't know if you noticed this. I'm like, I'll see some stuff and then I won't see other stuff till like 14 hours later. I'm like, it's really weird. So it's still obviously trying to figure out how it works, because some things I see instantly and other stuff, and it also replies to things. I'll get a reply like 10 hours later. I'm like, all right, it's really, I find that really weird with it. Sorry, man.
So I do like the discussion side of it, like you said.
Yeah, being able to just go in and open, it's like hijacking the conversations, and also like if you go into like a bigger account or a bigger name and you just start giving you reply to some stuff or like comment on it, then that shows up on other people's, doesn't it? So then you're finding that other people are finding me from that, which is really interesting. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's in the engagement pod tactics as well. I think that's been a thing on Instagram for a little while, hasn't it? That I know a lot of the people's tactics was, make sure you tag a load of famous people in your thing so they reshare your content. And I don't think that happens a lot.
No. I mean, I didn't know that, and maybe I'm a pioneer of engagement pods, but I'm just quite enjoying it when you see something like some of the bigger brands on there have got absolutely no chat. They're just shit banter. And it's like
there was I did it was quite fun. I did read a thread, and it was from some guy I never heard of him before, but apparently he's famous. And it was something about the amount of absolute it was something like absolute zero chat or zero banter engagement pod posts from like big brands is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And but he was talking about like, because obviously everyone's trying to get engagement, and what I've seen is everyone asking questions like, "Oh, I think I would have some pineapple on pizza today. What do you think?" Like that stuff didn't work.
Yeah. There's loads of them in there.
Yeah.
Tell me, guys, what do you like, Coke or Pepsi? I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck
Oh, I'm
off.
curious. I'm curious. What type of typewriter do you like?
Oh, it's painful. Oh no. Yeah, because that's the stuff I was saying about earlier, where I think people are trying really hard to find where they should fit into it. So they're like, I've got this really educational post on like rep ranges and whatever. And then, oh, tell me, do you have tea or coffee? Like, fuck off, don't care. Like, I genuinely don't care.
How many sugars do you have in your tea? You know, oh, I have artificial sweetener. Oh, you're gonna die.
Ah, yeah. Oh, at least like if you're gonna do those posts, inject some kind of humor, personality into it, or yeah. I actually drafted one because this is another maybe a tip for people out there. This is how my mind works, but I've actually got a threads dump, I think I called it. Can't remember what I called it on my
Red
notes.
stump. There's an image.
Threads dump, yeah. And so what I do is actually I do have a filtering process a little bit. So before I can actually go out there, I'm going to put it in there first and actually think, oh, is this something good? Or just ideas that come, because I don't want to just constantly fucking pump stuff out. So yeah, I have got one which is like about what's better, Pepsi or Coke. So I'll post it after and you'll see it.
What's better, Pepsi or Coke? But I can't do a line of Pepsi, so Coke wins that one. Just in the reply. See my reply in the I've seen that a lot as well. As people going on their threads. What's the top 3 this for this or whatever? Check out the replies in the comments, or like here's mine in the comments, and then that they put stuff. So they're trying to get people to read all the replies they put underneath it.
Yeah.
And that annoys me in one sense, because you've got 500 characters. It's a lot more than Twitter. So you can get a really good, concise argument there in 500 characters quite easily. You don't need to continue. You don't need to have like Twitter is like 142 or something like that characters. So you had to sort of post extra tweets afterwards.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that in Threads. 500 characters. That's enough.
But you don't want to do it so that they screenshot it and then they can turn it into a fucking carousel. And that annoys me, because I don't want to see your fucking thread on your not every time anyway. Like people do it all the time. Okay, maybe occasionally I don't want to see it because it's fucking boring. So boring. But yeah, I've seen that, and I've done that. I tested it out because I was like, oh, I didn't know how it works, how you could like go below and do another one. Because I was just replying to my own at the start. It's like,
yeah, I saw.
And then I've just tested out doing that where I've used quite a few characters, and I've gone, cool, find out below like what these points were. I mean, I've shared the first one to Instagram stories, and I've said tap in to find out what they were, hoping it'll take them back to Threads. So I don't know, just playing around with that kind of stuff to see what happens. But I don't know if anyone's still on Instagram.
And you know, actually, I think we discussed this before. The tap through rate for Instagram stories is like less than 1%.
Yeah.
So you actually might be limiting your own story watch time there.
Well, see, I won't do it again.
Report back with your findings next week.
I think that's my other thing that I said on a call this morning about, because it come up, obviously, talk about threads. And I was like, just be aware that, you know, if everyone's over here doing this stuff and all your coaches are over here just chatting about fucking moment arms and stuff, like you could be on Instagram where your actual audience is, doubling down on things like, oh, I'm going to maybe create more content here, or I'm going to go live and I'm going to do more stuff where my audience is. Because I speak to my wife, she's like, what's this threads thing then? No, it's another. No, right, okay, cool, won't bother with that. Like,
yeah, Sam's not on there. I said, oh, she said what, because I was talking about, she said, oh, what's Threads? Like similar to how Ashley said. I was like, oh, it's a like Twitter for, and she said, oh, fuck that. I'm not going on that.
Yeah. So that's a really good indicator. I know we're a small pool of sample size, but it just shows that, you know, whilst people over here having a good time in the group chat, why don't you go back over there and double down on some things, or create more emails, or push your lead magnet? I don't know, do more stuff that way.
Yeah, because you've got to think, and also if you was maybe being tactical about this, Twitter's probably absolutely tripling down on their reach and stuff at the moment. So if you've got an old Twitter account and you toddle off of over there and start posting stuff, you're probably going to be seen by 1 million people in the world. So that's worth doing as well. It's yeah, I mean, there's no hard and fast rule, is it? I think again, people is trying to get into this gaming the algorithm, wanting to be an early adopter, and oh, I've got to get on Threads and I've got to find out the perfect formula really quickly, so I'll follow all these people who tell me about their perfect algorithm and this, that, the other. It's like no one knows, you know. People are just, and you can see you've got engagement pods, you've got, you know, people trying to do the pineapple on pizza thing, you've got people reposting tweets from like 2 years ago that were really high performing, you know, onto Threads, all that sort of stuff. You've got all these people doing all these things, and the problem with that is that because everybody's doing it, again, you're just going to blend into the background. We talked about this before. If you're doing what everyone else is doing, people are going to scroll through, and it's like, oh, seen that.
Yeah, do something different. So I'm trying to stand out, find something else to do.
And think about how people actually digest content on Threads. I mean, I'm not sure about you. When I go on social media, I'm not looking for a long and detailed conversation, right? I'm normally having a poo, or I'm sat at my desk having 5 minutes coffee or something, or I'm sat at my sat on the sofa watching some Netflix thing, and I'm double screening for a minute, right? So when I'm on social media, I'm not going to click through on six replies on a thread because of some topic that I'm not, you know, like fat loss. Here's 3 things for fat loss. Who's going to do that? I mean, I don't know how you do it, but when I digest, I'm like scrolling through. Oh, that looks interesting. Spend 3 seconds looking at it. Okay, off. Unless it's something that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And, you know, 3 things for fat loss when everyone else is doing that is not interesting.
I'm more interested in the stuff that, yeah, like you say, it's real short, quite clever. Sometimes it's just someone's commented back to someone else, and I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. So that stuff grabs my attention like more. Yeah.
100% on that. So, you know, when you see a thread and it's like there's 300 replies to it, and the title is something like, you know, political or religious or something, I think, oh, this looks like gold. I just read a few of the replies and see. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that's just people just posting, like linking their mates to it or whatever. But sometimes you get like some absolute pure gold comments, and it's just like, say something like you see something on Facebook sometimes, like pure trolling comments, and it's, oh, I could be there for a little while reading that, but I don't get any value from it in terms of, you know, I'm not learning anything, I'm not developing anything. But that's a proper rabbit hole moment, isn't it?
That's what I mean. I'm finding myself just getting sucked into seeing some kind of self-development post, and I'm fucking just snarky comment because I'm just like, well, I don't understand why you're writing this. Like, you're not a philosopher, so why are you taking that exact word for word piece of text and then quoting it back to me? I don't get it. Like, I did, but people fucking love it. That's what winds me up. Like, oh my god, it's so insightful. Like, no, it's because you jump in an ice bath every morning. No,
you jump in an ice bath and you had steak and nuts today, before or after your ice bath. Wow.
I mean, I've got nothing against them really. I don't, like, if you want to do that, it's fine. And we talked about this, but I just think there's this pretentious nature of like these self-development things, or like philosophy quotes that just get repeated back, and I find that really hard to. The amount of times I've found myself in the last few days, like, oh, don't do it, and don't do it. And then sometimes
Resist.
someone did reply saying, "Oh, I can." Is that a hint of sarcasm I can sense in your reply? I'm like, yes, of course it is.
Yes, 100%.
Oh, and then I feel bad. Well, I shouldn't have done that.
Okay, so we said we're going to keep this short because we haven't really got any like real
Yeah.
massive value to talk about with threads. We're just basically just chatting shit for half an hour. So, okay, if you had something positive to give people advice on threads, what would be? Do you have like a top 3
Top 3,
or top 1 thing?
I'd say get yourself a Threads note file on your phone. Threads note, or if you haven't got notes on your phone anyway for content, just create a Threads note one. Just use that first.
Do you know what? I 100% agree with that. I've got Trello on my phone, and what I do is if I have it's sort of the same as what you got, like it's an idea dump. And if I've got an idea, and I normally get good ideas when I'm driving or I'm in the gym or something like that, something where I can't got a notebook and I can't. So if I just got a good, I'll talk about that later. I just open up Trello and it'll just be like, you create a card, write what your idea was, close it and then close it off and then go. And then when you come back to it later on, do you use Trello?
We have got Trello. We don't use it for that though. No.
Yeah. But if you go back into the card, you can then, and if you've got linked on your computer, say I got an idea for an email. So I'll write that. Now I'll go into Google Drive Docs and I'll write the email and I'll link that back in to the Trello. And then if I do a video, whatever, so it can all link in at the same time. And then that then becomes a topic post. So any other content I create relating to it, I can link into it. So and save it for later. So it's something that a lot of the stuff I talk about starts from like a 2-second idea I had in the gym or something like that.
Yeah.
And it goes into a Trello board and I can link all my stuff into it. And Threads is a really good example of that, because Threads is just a quick idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you can then sort of cope it out, create once, post everywhere into other content ideas, can't you?
Yeah. That's pretty much what I've been doing with taking longer emails and then taking pertinent part out of it, using that as the thread, and then using that as a post, and then having the caption as the actual long, which I think is good. But then I wouldn't want to do it all the time, because then all of your posts are just threads. It's really weird. So.
No, I think it needs all of that part of that ecosystem, isn't it? It's like if you've got a few, I mean, reposting some of your thread stuff onto Instagram or Facebook, that's good if you do it every now and again. If you do it every single day and it's like 3 times a day, it's just boring and you just get lost. But having something that's actually relevant to say and repost, I think that's a good idea, but not all the time.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see how it evolves. We'll do another one. We do Threads update.
We do Threads update in like 6 months when like another thing's come out and we're all into that.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, I know you've got to go away for a call. I've actually got a call at 3 as well. So I'm going to say goodbye and I'll see you on Threads.
See you later.